of the reasons that led to their decision concerning placing 14% tariff on Nigerian products. So let's talk about all of those this morning on Panorama, and let's have an expert make sense of it and also tell us if Nigerians should panic or not, if we should just stick around and wait it out. Maybe, just maybe, the United States president will get tired of this move and then reverse the move. Don't forget that China is also looking for a way to fully gain access to Nigeria or to other African countries or third world countries in order to sell their products. Don't forget that China also is making some of these products that we get from United States, and also if China is saying we are open to Nigeria bringing some of its products to us, that is another thing entirely. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the openings. Let's talk about how Nigeria can turn these around for our good on the program this morning. And I have on the line with me an economist and also a financial analyst. He's also a lecturer with FUNAB. He's Professor Shakiru Oladele Akinbode. Good morning to you, sir. Welcome to Panorama.
Good morning, Maryam. Good morning, our listeners. I'm happy to be here this morning.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so let's start with the 14% tariff on Nigeria. I know that Nigeria is not the only country, but when you heard about that particular 14% tariff on Nigeria, what was your first thoughts concerning Nigeria's economy and also the impact of this particular tariff increase on the country?
Yeah, it's a mixed feeling. In the actual sense of it, U.S. imposing 14% tariff on goods coming from Nigeria. We have contradicting information that I think the Minister of Finance was saying that the tariff will not affect oil and mineral exports. But some other reports have been saying that no, it's everything. But whichever way, I think 14%, let us take it like that. It's more, we need to look at what are the goods that will be affected. If there are goods that we can classify as necessities in the U.S., then it will be the pressure, the burden of that tariff will be on the U.S. consumers. Will be on the U.S. consumer, not on Nigeria. The thing is that Nigeria will have exported whatever we want to export at whatever price. If those things are things they really need and they don't have alternatives, the problem will not really concern us. But if there are products that there are alternatives, especially coming from countries where that America does not impose such a high tariff on their own export to the U.S., then it means buyers will have to forgo Nigeria products and go for those coming from other countries at cheaper prices to them. So, and what are the things that we actually export to the U.S.? It's more of crude oil. So crude oil, and for me, the percentage of our crude oil going to U.S. and even the volume of trade that we have with U.S. is not that much. In fact, as at the 2022 data that is available, others are maybe 2023, then 2024 is not ready. U.S. is in number 5 in terms of the countries Nigeria exports to. And they are also on number 5 in terms of countries from which Nigeria imports. So they are not our top trade partner. So it's neither here nor there. But I know that the crude oil that they come from Nigeria to the U.S. is the type of crude oil they like. The Bonny Light, that's the one they say that has a very low sulfur content. So with that, most refineries prefer Nigeria crude oil. because they call it sweet petroleum. So because it's easier for them to crack and all those things because of maybe low octane, whatever, and that's for the chemical experts. So we are not exporting manufactured products to the U.S. So it's more of this crude oil, mineral, solid mineral, and the rest. And if what the Minister of Finance said was correct, then we can say, okay, then it doesn't really affect Nigeria much. But if it's not correct, let us assume that it will affect us. I mean, it affects goods coming from Nigeria. Then we expect that, it will be more on the U.S. consumers. But if there are alternatives, especially coming from within the U.S. or from countries that will be paying lesser tariffs, then Nigeria will feel it. Nigeria will feel it. And you know that this thing that the President of America is announcing, all these trade policies, is not just about Nigeria. In fact, Nigeria has one of the least tariffs. There are countries that impose up to 35-40% on their products. So we are expecting it's a global trade war now, and it's for the giants. Nigeria is a small open economy. We call it's a small economy. So whatever we do back to US or US does to us, if it's going to have any negative effect, it's going to be on Nigeria. Really, if it's the real impact on the economy, not just consumers now. It's going to be on Nigeria because Nigeria is a small economy. Because if you look at our per capita income, maybe around $1,600, you can't compare it with US of about per capita income of about $84,000 per person per year. So the purchasing power of the people here in Nigeria is very low. So what I think we can do, I read in the news yesterday that Nigeria has retaliated by banning about 25 products, mostly agricultural products.
But that ban has been in existence since 2023. The poultry, fruit juice, sugar, yes. I think dairy products. It has been in existence since 2023. So what changed at the moment?
Nothing changes. You see, even the ban that Nigeria is announcing, how effective it is, even since 2023. If we ban import of some products from the US and Benin Republic doesn't ban it, Cameroon doesn't ban it, Niger Republic doesn't ban it, all those that are our neighbors, how strong is our border that those products will not eventually find their ways into Nigerian market? So that is another problem on its own. And they come in form of undocumented trade, but they will still come into the Nigerian market. Whatever, if we ban them for Nigeria, because we are a small economy that is not actually productive, it is the Nigerian consumer that will feel that one. Because those things we have to come through illegal routes to Nigeria and they will come at higher prices. So it will be on us. But the thing is that no country wants to believe that it's a small country, that somebody will just spit on your face and you will just say, oh, you are my guy, I can't do anything. So we want to say that, oh, we are. But in the real sense of it, we are a small economy. What we can do is we cannot engage in trade war with the U.S. Though they are not our biggest trade partner. What we can do is to do bilateral trade agreement, bilateral trade negotiation. Not you hit me, I hit you, you hit me. We don't have that shock absorber
But do you think that bilateral trade negotiations, will work? Because there has been a kind of bilateral trade negotiation between United States and Canada, and also between United States and the United Kingdom for years. But this particular Trump administration is not in any way working with that long-standing relationship with any country, according to some of the moves recently.
Yes, that's why I said that it's not about Nigeria, really. Their target, Nigeria. Their target is mostly US, Canada, those big countries, not those big economies. they know how to manage their relationship with UK. It's like father and son.
Hello, doctor. Are you still there? Hello, Professor. Are you still there? Okay, we lost his call. We'll try and establish connection with him and get him back on the line to continue the conversation. If you're just joining the program, we are taking a look at the U.S.-Nigeria tariff situation, and we are taking a look at how this can work for Nigeria. That's what we are talking about. We are discussing with Dr. Shakiru Oladele Akinbode on the program this great morning. If you have a comment or you have a question for my guest on the program today, please don't use the WhatsApp platform. I don't have access to WhatsApp at the moment due to network, but you can go on Facebook and drop your comment on Facebook Live. I will definitely read it. Or you drop your comment on X, and I will get to your comments, questions, and also open the phone lines as soon as possible. But please avoid WhatsApp. WhatsApp is not working at the moment. You can use Facebook, and also you can use the X platform to reach out to me on the program Panorama this morning. Welcome back, Professor.
Yeah, yes. So sorry, I think maybe the network or something.
All right, so continue with your line of thought.
What? Okay, you were saying that Trump has not been aligning with the existing bilateral agreements with many countries. I think that was what we were discussing.
Yes.
Yes. You know, this Trump phenomenon is not. Yes, I was saying that it was not about Nigeria. Nigeria is just whatever comes to Nigeria or affects Nigeria out of this thing is just collateral damage. It was not in Nigeria. It can never be the target of big trade war in the world because we are a small economy. So what we can do, that was why I think the Minister of Finance about 3 or 4 days ago in that maybe there was a symposium or something by Ministry of Finance Incorporated. And I was saying that the effect of that tariff on Nigeria will be more of plunging of Nigeria crude oil prices because we have seen it. In fact, we have seen it already. The crude oil price as of yesterday went as low as $61 per barrel. Some maybe depending on the grade, Western Texas Intermediate, the sweet blends and all those things. Some 64, between 64 and 61. And Nigeria. I think Nigeria based this year budget on about $85 or $75 per barrel of crude oil. So, and that may affect Nigeria because the price the price we projected that we are going to sell per barrel has really gone down. So that will affect our revenue. And then our production per day, the daily projection for this year budget is 2.06 million barrels per day, and presently I think we are around 1.67. We have not even reached that one now, and the price is coming down. So that those are areas where we can have those backlashes on our economy. But according to what Wale was saying, he was saying that they will increase production and be able to and focus on non-oil revenue. So meaning that they are talking about custom and federal inland revenue service who are tax collectors. So, and excise duty and all those things. So, meaning that they are going to expand their tax base to cover more people without maybe perhaps not necessarily raising tax rates. They are not, I don't think they want to do that. So, meaning that more people will have to pay tax so that government can have enough revenue to run its program. So, if we can tighten those loopholes where we are not getting enough revenue, so we can buffer Nigeria economy from much of that effect. There is no way it will not come to us in a way, but if government is proactive and they sincerely implement what they are supposed to implement, they can at least shield Nigeria economy from the phenomenon, from the fight, from the global trade war that is going on. Like I said earlier, Nigeria is not the main target, but there is no way the effect will not affect Nigeria in a way because we are a very small economy and we are open. We are an open economy, though very small. So there is no way whatever that is happening around the world will not affect us.
Okay, talking about things, sorry to butt in, Professor, talking about things that will affect us as Nigerians, I want us to take a look at the budget, because earlier you did talk about the benchmark for oil price according to what we have in our budget, and also you did talk about the number of barrels that we have plans to produce in a day, which we are not yet there. So the question I would love to ask at the moment is, do you foresee a likelihood of Nigerian government doing a little adjustment to 2025 budget, or are we likely to have maybe 3 or 4 supplementary budgets like we had? I think we had about 2 supplementary budgets last year.
Yeah, the budget is a statement of intention, plans, receipts, and expenditure. So if they think things will not work out, why not? We are likely to have it the way things are. So there is no way we won't have it. And I think even the government officials, especially the Minister of Finance, mentioned something like that they are going to readjust. And so, but I think the more of the adjustment that they want to talk about at this time, which is still very early in the year, is to get in more revenue through other sources that are not actually about export. The main thing we export is actually crude oil and maybe mineral and the rest, but crude oil. So they will focus less on crude oil and focus on the main source of finance for government, which will be tax revenue. That is the main source of finance for government anywhere. All other things we export, we do this and the rest. It's a private sector thing, and it should not be the main focus. The only thing that concerns government is to provide an enabling environment for those businesses to thrive. So, if we want to talk about maybe export, those people we can talk about export that will affect us would be India, because for India, with about 12.6% of our export go to India. Then Spain, almost 11.97% goes to Spain. Then Netherlands, they are around 9.5%, and Indonesia. The U.S. is about 6.95% of our total export that goes to U.S. So U.S. that one is about 2022, 2023. So the volume of the share of our export going to the U.S. is still not that high. It's less than 7%. And in terms of import too, total our import from U.S. is about 5.57% of our total import that is actually coming from the United States. And in the actual final analysis of it, the U.S. has been importing more from Nigeria than Nigeria importing from the U.S. So the trade balance has been in favor of Nigeria in recent times. So and why is because they take crude oil from Nigeria. So though they are not the only buyer of our crude oil, so the trade balance is in favor of Nigeria slightly. So the impact of all these things is going to affect us because it will affect other economies, China, Japan, all those ones. But the direct effect is not meant for Nigeria. But because we are a very small, fragile economy, that's why our government, as the economic team, must put on their thinking cap now to shield and buffer the economy from the effect of this global problem. Because what Trump is doing is that, I don't know, it's going to, on the overall effect for U.S., let me talk about U.S. now, it's going to affect more about the U.S. consumers. Though the only thing that it will gain as a country is that it will protect their own local industries. But in terms of the competition with imported products, maybe their own products can now be cheaper because they have put tariff on imported products. But are they with even that 25%? Are we saying because the cost of production in the U.S. is high because of high cost of labor and the rest? So will they still be able to meet up? Will it not be on the final analysis? Is it not going to be on U.S. consumers? That's why you are seeing pocket of protest now in the U.S. against those policies, because they know that the effect is going to be on the U.S. consumer more. But the only thing is that on our own economy here, we may suffer loss of revenue, and this government is already knowing that it's going to affect us in a way, and they are already putting on their thinking cap. We believe that we can be good to go. The problem, another area that we have not really explored and we cannot explore as a developing country is the African trade zone, the Africa...
the free trade zone?
Yes, the Africa continent thing. We have not been able to trade much with ourselves. Because of what? Because there are a lot of agreements. There is Africa Free Continental Trade and the ACTA, the ECOWAS. There is the East African Economic Community. There is South African Development. All those things. Why have they not achieved much? Why have they not achieved much? It's because African countries have not been able to industrialize. We produce primary products. All of us, we want to export cocoa beans. We want to export crude oil, solid mineral, unprocessed. Everybody is just primary producer. You understand? So we are. That's why the trade volume among African countries have not been so encouraging. That's why you see that there is more intra-African migration than intra-African trade. People just move from Nigeria to Ghana, from Ghana to Cameroon, from Nigeria to South Africa. But what is the trade? Because when all those migration is there, it's supposed to be followed with large volume of trade. So it's more of intra-African migration rather than intra-African trade. Because we are primary producers, we have failed to industrialize, which is a problem we have faced over time.
Okay, if you are just joining the program, it's Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM. I now have access to WhatsApp, so you can send your question to WhatsApp if you want to. 0817-555-1067. It's our WhatsApp platform. And I have on the line with me this morning to talk about the U.S. Tariff on Nigeria. It's 14%, and you've heard Professor Shakiru Oladele or Akinbode explain further how this is likely not to impact us a whole lot, except when it comes to revenue. But Professor, the question I would love to ask now is, because you did talk about revenue, and you've actually made the work easier for me by mentioning some of the internal or intercontinental, international trade within the continent, talking about the continent of Africa. You've talked about AFTA and also some other ones that we have in place, and why we are not yet tapping into the full strength of all these agreements that we've had in the past. Don't forget that we also signed a new one with Saudi Arabia recently, and also that one talked about ensuring that we don't have the drug trafficking or smuggling between the two countries as well. But the question I really want to ask at this moment is something about the revenue generation. We've been talking about diversification of our economy for years. We have been talking about it when the Buhari administration came into power. It was more or less like the drive that the Buhari administration talked about reviving, that, we are going to move the economy away from oil, we'll move it into some other things, talk about agriculture and some other things. But as an economist, if you're to take a holistic look at Nigeria and problems surrounding the diversification of our economy, what are the things that you can say are the bane in the achievement of that particular plan?
Oh, thank you very much. I think I will say, without being modest, it has been laziness in governance. When I say laziness in governance, ability to take decisions without much of politics and push it precisely for the betterment of the majority of the people, not just the few. Look at the drama around Dangote refinery establishing in Nigeria, It's not substandard, it's not substandard. We sell it, sell at in dollar, not in dollar. Why all this problem when we have been agitating that we don't have business importing refined petroleum products? Because experts told us that there are close to 100 other affiliated products that we can get from crude oil, but we continue to export and provide jobs for people over there. So if there is a drive to do it by some companies, by private individuals in Nigeria, why are we having problems for the company to take off? What are the interests that are there that are actually different from the interests of the generality of the masses? So these are issues that we need to address. Then another problem is the problem of infrastructural deficit. It's too much in Nigeria. Most companies cannot, that will have been in Nigeria to actually energize the diversification. They cannot operate because the cost of diesel. You cannot run a generator economy. Economy cannot grow on generator, where every company is on diesel powered generator to produce. No, it can never be. Good road, then above all, security, insecurity. These are basic things that are supposed to be there so that the diversification thing can take effect. But by the time we are having insecurity issue, people are on their farm. Some people just go there, kill them, kidnap them, asking people that are just doing peasant farming 15 million, 20 million. So there will be problem. There is problem from the agricultural sector, which are supposed to supply raw products to the industrial sector. You know, in our secondary school, they taught us this one, the importance of agriculture, supply of raw material to industry. They taught us in secondary school. So now, when that agricultural product, and agriculture is not done on the road, we can't do it on Abiola way there. We can't plant anything there. We have to enter into the bush, and entering into the bush now to plant or to raise animals is now a problem. So where are the raw material going to come from? Now, even if the raw material is available, now the companies that will spring up to do those things, where is the electricity supply, good roads, pipe-borne water? Then where is the legal framework for businesses to grow? If I have problem with my business partner, if I go to the court, how soon will I get judgment? When there is no good legal system, the international business people will not come because their capital can be tied down due to litigations. You understand? So all these things that will affect businesses, that will affect growth, we must just be serious about it and remove politics and put politics aside and push them so that the generality of our people can enjoy, because we have these natural resources, about 44 natural resources in commercial quantity, and we cannot be exporting primary products. We cannot be producing cocoa and just be exporting. There are analyses that have shown that a cocoa farmer takes only 6% of the price of chocolate bar that is sold in big departmental stores. So, meaning that farmer will only take 6% because there is no value addition. So, if we export primary products, it means what we are gaining is too small. That is why our per capita income is low, $1,600 per person. It used to be about 2,400, 2,500 before, because of this devaluation, it has really come down. So, what is we are only large in terms of number of people in Nigeria, but what is the purchasing power of the people? People don't have that purchasing power. We are just like, that's why we are still a very small economy. So, because our GDP is low. So, we should work around things that we and create a business enabling environment that we allow businesses to grow. Work on our commercial judicial system that will help commerce, industry, and establishment of businesses. Ownership rights, how is ownership protected? In the ease of doing business, Nigeria is ranked around 123 in the world out of about maybe 197 countries that are always ranked. That is it means it's very difficult to do business in Nigeria. So without those things, the opportunity for internal growth is limited. Opportunity for internal growth is limited because of those factors that are choking up businesses. And those that are in the private sector, if they tell you what they face is much apart from power supply, insecurity, bad roads, all those things. If they want to export, they want to import materials and all those things. So these are issues that are concerning that diversification. So we need sincerity and commitment on the part of government to push these things across.
Okay, well, you talked about sincerity and commitment on the part of government, but the past administration, that is the administration of Muhammadu Buhari, it's all gone now, but so far we've moved into 2 years of the current administration, the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Can you say that the movement now, with some of the steps taken, the policy and the changes that have been made so far by the current administration, can you say that we are likely to get to that stage where we'll achieve maybe in the next 2 years, if not full diversification of the economy, maybe 50% of that particular plan? And with the current tariff, because you heard yesterday, the Minister of Finance, Wale Edu, did talk about the fact that we are going to focus more on non-oil revenue. So do you think that in the next 2 years, we are likely to maybe move a bit closer into achieving that plan?
Yeah, they are moving. They are not facing the wrong direction. They are moving towards the right direction, but the speed is a problem. But, we cannot talk about the speed in isolation of policies. For example, if you look at the tax reform bill, which is fantastic. When they first sent the bill to assembly, we discussed it, but we said we didn't have access to the content. But now we are able to see the content, and we know that it's about changing all these 1936, 1956, 1970 law. They are good, but I think the government is likely to be faced with internal resistance. And we saw it. I just brought the issue of the tax bill. But they are, they are moving towards the market, as in market-based economy. But it should be all-encompassing. Why they are doing that, they should not forget the welfare effect on the people. For example, we deregulate petrol, we remove subsidy, we move towards the market system in petroleum price. What is the effect on the people? What are the cushioning arrangements that is in place? What are we doing so that people don't plunge too much into poverty? They are moving in the right direction in a way, but I said the speed is, I think, it's too slow. There is no, the push is not much, but it's the right direction. But the push and the political will behind it and the internal resistance, they are very big issues that I'm seeing from my own point of view. Some other people may have better view of what I'm trying to push there, but I think they are moving in the right direction.
Okay, we have on the line with us Professor Shakiru Oladele Akinbode, and this morning we are taking a look at the tariff imposed on Nigeria by the United States of America. Is just about 14%, but then what are the impacts? How will this particular tariff affect us? And also we've moved from there to check out how we can turn the tide around to make it better for Nigeria on the program this morning. It's time for you to call in and be a part of the program. 0705 050 1067 0817 444 1067, or you call 0817 555 1067. Those are the numbers to call to be a part of the program this morning. 0705 050 1067, 0817 444 1067, or 0817 555 1067. Those are the numbers to call. You can also drop your comment on Facebook. We have the live video feed on Facebook now, so you can drop your comment on Facebook at Splash FM 106.7 at Belkuta. You can also reach out to me on WhatsApp. I have access to WhatsApp now. WhatsApp is 0817 555 1067. I have a few a few messages on WhatsApp this morning, and this particular one is from, I'm trying to get to the WhatsApp platform. In the meantime, you can call the phone. So I have the WhatsApp platform back. We lost that call. Please do well to call back 0817-444-1067. And on WhatsApp, this person said, "Good morning, Splash FM. You guys are doing a great job keeping the public informed, entertained, etc. Africa should move from being primary producers." Okay, let me pick this call and I will be right back to get to your messages. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Good morning. There's so much noise where you are. Can you move away from the noise a bit?
The noise is still there.
Okay, it's a bit better now. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning, Maryam Ogunremi is my name.
All right, go ahead.
Good morning, Prof. I greet you, sir. You said something that specifically, caught my interest. We've been relying heavily on our natural resources, and we are even at that. We are not even making the most of it. Just like we have actually highlighted in your analysis. And this is my question. You said we can't actually a country relying on tax. So now, going by the economic indices, the reality with Nigeria, I want to ask, do you really think Nigeria can actually survive on tax? Or are there certain measures that we have to be put in place? Because we know of certain, many other great nations too, that they are not even that endowed with natural resources. All they've got is human resources. And talking about that human resources, undeniably, we've got it in abundance in Nigeria.
Somebody wrap up now.
Okay, is there any way of awakening the sleeping giants? And let's assume that we don't have this oil and gas. Can we survive on tax? Are there measures to be put in place? So that's my question, sir. Before that.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution. Prof, Oladele is asking if we can, do you think we can survive on tax? That's the question. Just hold on to it. So let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Maryam. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
We thank God, we bless God this morning.
That's great. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Shakiru from Shakiru.
Go ahead.
I've been listening for, honestly, with all, really explain and analyze, it has really been, really quite explicit. If you look at most of the things that is worrying us, we lack, and most of the leaders that we have are not even, they are not, nationalistic enough to actually, galvanize the resources that we have for us to be able to have the best of what we have. And that is where, with all the resources and everything, putting so much pressure on, yes, tax is good, but are we really utilizing what the natural endowment that we have? That is one area that we are about. We want to do. We don't want to do this. We don't want to, export this. We don't want to, import this. Are we doing what we are supposed to do as leaders, or we are just there for the selfish interest of, of some few people, or working to actually satisfy the economy of the country and, the future and the destiny of this nation? And these are the things that, the Prof really, enumerated. Leaders who want to really do the right thing.
Wrap up now, Gio Chikwade. Hello? Okay, Gio Chikwade, we lost connection to your call, but thank you so much for your contribution. We have another one here this morning. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Oladele is my name.
Okay.
I'm calling from Mirakali in Olomuri.
All right, go ahead with your contribution.
The government that are looking at because of the effect of the US, the issue of what's so-called taxes is good to look at that. Are we going to use that taxes again to run this administration we are running with too much concurrent something? like that is like the house now. All the allowances they are getting. Are we going to collect tax and to run that again? Or they are there to adjust the tax, they adjust the allowances. The allowances just too much on the housing, on vehicle or something. Please, I want our listeners to look at that area. Getting more tax, nothing problem. For to run the National Assembly with good allowances and budget allowances. So that's my question. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, sir, for your contribution. And 0705 050 1067, or you call 0817 555 1067, or you drop your comments on WhatsApp 0817 555 1067. I'll get to you shortly, Professor Akinbode. This one from Chief Eric Lanre-Riemi. I started earlier. I said Africa should move from being primary producers of resources to being finished producers of goods. Nigeria should concentrate on stabilizing the energy sector first, and every other things will be added on to us in Nigeria. That is from Chief Eric Riemi. And this particular one is from it's a long one. It's from Sanitarian Akionla Oluwarantimi. He said, "Good morning, Maryam Ogunremi and our guest, Professor Akinbode. Well done, sir. The tariff imposed on Nigeria by U.S. government, what should we call it? Nigeria economy itself is in shambles. We rely so much on dollars and what have you. What do we have in this country to export in large quantities to other countries, which will boost our economy? I think with the recent issues between Nigeria and USA as regards tariff imposed by the USA government, where are the sincerity? Where are the trust? What happened to our economy? Some set of so-called leaders came to power all in the name of enriching themselves. Many minister of finance that have come and gone. What are their roles as regards our economy? Their bilateral relationships, even in our so-called African countries. Look at Benin Republic. Are we still having good economic ties? And that's coming from Sanitarian Akinola Oluwarantimi with so many questions. Akorede Camille said federal government needs to leverage on this new U.S. tariff to fill supply gaps in the U.S. markets, particularly in non-oil sectors. If not that, we need to boost other sectors. I would have preferred Nigeria doing more trade with other African countries. That from Akorede Camille this morning. And this one is from Nicholas. Nicholas said, you cannot separate the lack of foresight in leadership to the diversification challenge. From Wale Edu to Kadoso to Adelabu, we keep hearing speeches as if na speech go fix national grid or fix SMEs or enhance local production or end banditry. We don't see the so-called think tank. You shocked Baba Ahmed has left them. The matter don't scatter for his eyes. Thank God they can't control oxygen and Champions League. Up Gunners, Jerry. That's from Nicholas, and he went on to say, if you are traveling to the east from the west, your car must be facing Ijebu-Ore Asaba, not Olorunda Ayeto Remeko. But same people who felt Buhari was the way forward and wasted 8 years of our lives will also feel we are on the right path. Please, can Professor release his Twitter account for Nigerians who want to learn from his wisdom? That's from Nicholas. Thank you, Nicholas, for your comment. You just had to sneak in that Arsenal's win this morning. Okay, so Professor, let me get back to you before I get to the rest of the messages on WhatsApp, because we have another one. But let's start with Akinbode. Sorry, Olabode. I said Akinbode. Okay, I have Professor Akinbode on the line. Then Olabode called. Olabode's first question is, do you think Nigeria can survive on tax? That was his question.
Yeah, you see, we cannot just suddenly now survive on tax because we have not planned for a long time. We have not planned. You see, you can only survive on tax if you have created an enabling environment for businesses to grow. There are a lot of industries, factories producing this, rendering this service, and you are, good road, electricity, good legal environment, ownership, rights protection, ease of doing business in place. If all those things are in place and there are a lot of private sector participation, then you can say, the tax that we are going to get from these people should be able to take like 70%, 80% of what we need, or even 50%, and maybe others from import duties and all those things. There may be little from mineral export and crude oil things. So, but you cannot just suddenly wake up now and say, we want to live on tax. If we do that now, it means we will overtax companies and overtax individual businesses and individuals as Nigerians. Then it will be like like cutting your face to wash your hand or something, So it won't add up. It won't add up because it will put pressure on the people. So we cannot now, but we need to put things in place. So that, that is when even government, we have the moral right to even ask companies and individuals to pay when you have done what you are supposed to do. Then Gio Shikwade actually spoke about leadership. I think his comment is about the leadership.
Yes. And also Nicholas mentioned that as well.
Is there anything I didn't get about Gio Shikwade there?
No, it's just based on, he talked about leadership as well, talking about the leaders leading us right, that having the right people in place will help to achieve some of these things. And Nicholas also talked about it. He mentioned the think tank and the situation ongoing in presidency at the moment.
Yeah, okay, so it's just contribution.
All right, thank you. Okay, so before we go, we have a few more messages on WhatsApp. This person said, good morning. The guest has actually analyzed the possible effect of the tariff. My challenge with our economy is the system of government we are running. It's just too expensive for our status all fronts. Most of our income is going to unproductive sector. In other words, payment of political office holders. Can we just move to a more reasonable system, probably regional? That you forgot to add your name. And Ade is saying, for me, God has given us everything we need to develop, but because we lack leader with good visions, we are not ready for development. I want more sanction from US so that we can be forced to look inward. We need people that are patriotic, not people that will be requesting for 160 million naira Prado Jeep. Burkina Faso military junta is developing its country with their available resources, building new refinery, building free housing for youth will help, while Nigeria government is requesting for another 13 trillion loan from 13 trillion loan from World Bank, maybe for another coastal roads. Where is Mr. President at the moment? Okay, so that's from Ade. I hope I made sense of what you sent in. And this one from Martins Henry on Facebook. He said, good morning, Panorama. I think Trump is reordering the world economy, and the main lesson is that Africa, in particular Nigeria, should be proactive in boosting its own economy by shifting from being a consumer of many foreign goods to a producer of many items. My question for Professor is, how can that be achieved? Watching live from England. Thank you, Martin Henry from England. So, Professor, in about 40 seconds, can you please answer Martin Henry's question?
He said that how can we change from being a consuming to a producing economy? That's what we have been talking about, that we should not rely on imports from other countries. We should be able to do value addition to our primary products, and for value addition, we need to create good business enabling environment for businesses to grow, so that the private sectors can come in that will do the value addition, provide jobs, and be able to produce what we need. Then somebody spoke about Burkina Faso. Military is not the best form of government. Even they said the best military is worse than the. So that there is, even before now, there was this Africa growth opportunity at AGOA that has been in place since 2000. The first 15 years it lasted in 2015, and they extended it for another 10 years. I think that will end this year. That which provides trade opportunity between African countries and some Caribbean countries with the US. So, even because of military rule, they removed Burkina Faso, Mali, and some other countries, Cameroon, due to abuse.
Yes, and they decided to have their own organization.
No, that is from ECOWAS. but the AGOA is about trade with the U.S.
Okay.
From African countries and some Caribbean countries, but mostly African countries. So, and some countries have been removed from that list of that trade act and for that growth act. Like, part of it is Burkina Faso due to military rule, Mali, Niger, some due to unfair labor practices like Mauritania. Then like Central African resources due to, Republic, due to human rights abuses. Even Uganda has been removed, Cameroon. So there are a lot of agreements that have been in place before. Then Nicholas asked about my Twitter and that's Oladele Akinbode. So there is not much about that. Then somebody asked about do trade with other African, that we should do trade with other African countries. And we have said the problem with that is the problem of all of us producing primary products, not doing value addition, not industrializing. That's why Nigeria is not trading much with Benin Republic, with Cameroon, with Niger. We are just the same poor people. So that's the problem we have there. Then someone, Sanitary Akiola Oluwa asked about the trade with Benin Republic, that we should trade more. That's the problem we have just said, that because we are all primary producers. Then somebody asked about what do we have to export. we have material to export, but we need to work on them. So then Alhaji Mr. Gun said that, are we going to use tax to run the overbloated recurrent expenditure? He gave example of national.
Yes, the sitting.
Yes, we need to do reform in governance financing. We need to reduce all these things fully, because people cannot be happy hearing that somebody is collecting 13 million, 20 million per month for sitting down for maybe 4, 5, 7 days and going on recess for 21 days.
Professor, we've got to go.
So those are so we need to work. The government need to work on it really. So thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Professor Shakiru Oladele Akinbode, for always coming through on Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Right. So we'll go on a quick commercial break. It's long overdue. And when we get back, we'll move on to the second segment on Panorama this morning. Please stick with us.
Splash FM 106.7. Ìyá Lanre, kí ló dé tó ń jẹ ìpẹ́ tó báyìí?
Ẹ wo sún mi jàre, ẹ̀yin náà ìwògbà tá ti ń sọ fún yín káraká cylinder. Aṣọ títí náà, báwo ohun èlò tó ń lona ní pálọ̀ gbogbo ló ti bàjẹ́ tán.
Àbá, ṣé bó mọ̀ pé kì í ṣe ibi tèmi náà kẹ́? Mi ò lówó kan lọ́wọ́ tí mo lè dálẹ̀ fún gbogbo nǹkan wọ̀nyí lẹ́ẹ̀kan ṣoṣo. Bàbá Lanre, ìjìnlẹ̀ ń dára yín láàmú sí nígbà tí sídìkì ẹ̀ wà ńlẹ̀. Níbi tẹ́ ẹ ti lè ṣètò san díẹ̀díẹ̀ fún onírúurú nǹkan èlò fún inú ilé. Tara yín kódà tó fi dórí ọkọ̀ rírà àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Láì ní owó èlé kankan lórí, láì sì ní gbó lérí ohunkóhun tẹ́ ẹ bá rà níbẹ̀. Ẹ lè ṣètò san díẹ̀díẹ̀ yín fún gbèdéke oṣù 12 tàbí 40 ọ̀sẹ̀. Múlẹ̀ ìrọ̀kẹ̀. Gbogbo àwọn ohun èlò tó wà nínú ilé mi. Díẹ̀díẹ̀ sídìkì ẹ̀ ni mo fi kó wọn jọ. Ẹ̀tún wa iPhone ọwọ́ mi yìí. Ẹ̀yin kàn lọ sí Google Play Store tàbí iOS App Store yín kí ẹ kàn sí ojúpọ̀ ìtọ̀nà sídìkì ẹ̀. Kí ẹ lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní rajà nílànà sanwó díẹ̀díẹ̀.
Baálé mi, sídìkì ẹ̀ yìí gangan lohun tí a nílò.
Báwo kọ́ o, gbogbo nǹkan wọ́n wà ní kẹ́. Download app sídìkì ẹ̀ láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ san díẹ̀díẹ̀. Ọ́fíìsì sídìkì ẹ̀ wà ní Public Place, Kẹ́ǹtàn Lọ́kọ́, lọ́jà Ìtòkú nítòsí Access Bank, Ṣàpọ̀n, Abẹ́òkúta, Tẹ́kìtẹ́ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà là ń tajà wa dé 0707-454-2992.
Sídìkì ẹ̀ make life easier.
Ìrì òwúrọ̀ Jerusalem Jordan bí Olúwa ṣe pa láṣẹ fún bàbá tẹsímọ́nì wípé kí wọ́n máa lọ gbàdúrà fún onímọ̀júgbò ènìyàn ní Jerusalem àti Jọ́dánì.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni o, látòrí òkè testimony prayer mountain kò tó gba sẹ́rù Abẹ́òkúta ní Nàìjíríà la ó ti máa gbàdúrà. Bá a ṣe ń gbéra ìrìn àjò mímọ́ lọ sí Jerusalem àti Jọ́dánì. Àṣẹ Olúwa ní lóòótọ́ o. Àwọn tó ti ń bá wòlíì Ọlọ́run Prophet Dr. Akande Adéọlá bàbá testimony ìrìn àjò ẹ̀mí mímọ́ yìí ń lólè ròyìn. Bí wọ́n ṣe ń gbàdúrà gbàrí sí ayọ̀ kíákíá. Láwọn ibi tó ṣe kókó tó dárúkọ nínú Bíbélì. Láwọn ẹ̀rí kọ́ngbẹ́kọ́ngbẹ́ tó fojú hàn sí ìjáde gbangbangba gbogbo ìgbà. Gbọ́ irú ogun wo ló ń jà tí ó fẹ́? Àwọn ìlàkọjá wo ló ní tí ó fẹ́ lọ́kàn balẹ̀? Ó yá jájọ lọ gbàdúrà ní Jerusalem àti Jọ́dánì pẹ̀lú bàbá testimony kó wọ́n ṣẹ́. Hotel accommodation ibi tó rẹwà la máa dé sí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ la máa jẹ oúnjẹ mẹ́ta lójúmọ́. Ó ti yá báyìí ẹ̀ tètè máa bọ̀ wá gba fọ́ọ̀mù kẹ́ forúkọ sílẹ̀ 0902-845-5553 tàbí 081-7577-0000.
Taban sọ̀rọ̀ ice block making machine nílẹ̀ yìí. Ọ̀gá àgbà ni Master Sam Cool Engineering Company. Master Sam Cool mọ̀ nípa bá a ti ń ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ice block making machine láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ dópin. Àwọn fridge àti freezer yín tẹ́ ẹ ti lò wọ́n pàtì. Ẹ lè sọ di ice block making machine. Bákan náà làwọn ice block machine yín tí kò ṣiṣẹ́ mọ́ tàbí tí kò ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe fẹ́. Master Sam Cool á bá yín sọ di tuntun tí ẹ ó tún lò fún àìmọye ọdún. Lẹ́jẹ̀ wọ́n bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ṣe fẹ́ sí tàbí customize ice block pẹ̀lú ìrànlọ́wọ́ Master Sam Cool Engineering Company. Kò sẹ́ni tí kò nílò ice block. Ìwọ náà bẹ̀rẹ̀ okòwò ice block lónìí. Kówó máa wọlé fún ọ. Master Sam Cool wà ní 463 Abẹ́òkúta Expressway Ajégúnlẹ̀ bus stop nílùú Èkó tàbí ní 32 Bíúrì Láfẹnwá Abẹ́òkúta tàbí nínú ọjà Láfẹnwá lórí Gbẹ́gi. Ẹ pè 08066303532 lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí 08066303532.
Are you seeking a place to relax and hang out with friends? Watch the latest movies with mouth-watering snacks?
Oh, yes.
Do you need a place to host social gatherings like birthday parties and club meetings?
Yes.
Then think no further. Aje's Place is the right place for you. We have a 2-screen cinema hall, game section, a mini sport bar for your live matches, and an executive lounge space for your events. Visit us at 35 Mercy Road, Brancheke, Abeokuta. Our telephone number is 0818-443-1531. 0818-443-1531. You can also connect with us on social media at Aje's Place. Visit us today and we'll promise you a swell time. Aje's Place is absolutely amazing.
Don't dare touch that dial. It's Splash, your integrity station.
Panorama.
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 Panorama. Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
Welcome back to Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM this great morning. Welcome to the second segment. In the first segment, we had a conversation around the imposed of the 14% ban, the 14% tariff imposed on Nigerian goods, on goods coming from Nigeria to the United States of America. That's what our conversation was around earlier on our first segment, and we had on the program with us Professor Shakiru Oladele Akinbode. He's a professor with Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta FUNAB. He is also an economist and also a financial expert. We had him earlier on the program to make sense of the tariff, and also we had some of your comments, your opinions, and also your suggestion on the program as well this morning. And in the second segment, we are going to focus on headlines making rounds on the front page of Nigerian dailies. But before we go into the second segment this morning, let's take a look at and a few of your comments that we still have on our social media platforms. Let's go to our X. So we have a comment from the spillover from the first segment. This one is from Akorede Cameo. It said federal government needs to leverage on this new U.S. tariff to fill supply gaps in the U.S. market, particularly in non-oil sector. I think I read this on WhatsApp as well this morning, earlier on. And on Facebook, we don't have any left on Facebook. And to somebody just messaged me asking for Professor Akinbode's Twitter handle. It's just Dele Akinbode. If you type Dele Akinbode, you'll see him right there on Twitter. And another message on WhatsApp from Adura Agbemi from Abeokuta. Adura Agbemi said, I may be wrong to some extent about the set of ministers that the president chooses to pilot the affairs of the Nigerian economy. Nearly 2 years of APC government, Minister of Power Chief Adelabu tells Nigerians that he needs to go to Egypt to learn how Egypt generates her own electricity so that he can adapt it in Nigeria. Anytime I remember his statement, I always shake my head. It clearly shows that the man and some others in government are not really prepared for leadership. The state of electricity supply in Nigeria keeps on going down drastically without any improvement. Until the right pegs are put in the right holes, we will keep moving in cycles without any tangible achievement. May God help us. That's from Adura Agbemi from Abeokuta on WhatsApp this morning. So the second segment, we are ready to go on the second segment this morning. And my analyst for the second segment is Abayomi Babalola. He's my analyst on the second segment and is going to join me live on the line as well this morning. Good morning, Abayomi Babalola. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Maryam. I'm fine, and you?
I'm great. It's been ages.
It's been a while. I had wanted to come, but I have one or two things to do in the office, so I decided to do this on phone.
All right, I understand. So good to have you join me live on the line this morning.
Thank you. It's good to be here this morning.
Okay, so now let's get on to some of the headlines. We'll read the headlines first, then we'll move on to details behind the headlines with Abayomi Babalola. This morning, I have Vanguard newspaper and Nigerian Tribune with me on the program, and I'll likely also check out the online platform of Platform Times this morning as well. But let's start with Vanguard newspaper. On the front page of Vanguard newspaper, the big headline, tariff war, U.S. slams Nigeria over import ban on 25 items, says Nigeria policies create significant trade barriers that lead to lost revenue for U.S. businesses. It's on page 5 of Vanguard newspaper. NSA warns against ransom payment to terrorists, kidnappers, others. It's on page 8. Lead poisoning. Federal government indicts monarchs, others illegal miners out of Zamfara on page 11. Bayelsa wins Niger Delta Sports Festival with 42 gold on page 32. And on page 6, Cybercrime Act, emergency rule, journalists narrate ordeal in hands of policemen in Rivers. On page 6, page 26, corruption, not federalism, Nigeria's problem. ACF, Afenifere Ohaneze, others tackle VP Shetima. Ndume knocks Tinubu, alleges lopsided federal appointments on page 11. And on page 5, Shetima inaugurate NISO board, signals new era in power sector reform. Those are the headlines on the front page of Vanguard newspaper. And the big picture on the front page is the picture of Governor Obasani of Kaduna State, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, President, African Development Bank, and Vice President Kashim Shettima during the groundbreaking ceremony of the Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zones in Kaduna yesterday. That's the big picture on the front page of Vanguard newspaper. You know, I always love to get to the Mr. and Mrs. Part of Vanguard newspaper. Mr. said, today is Vanguard Economic Discourse and I'm almost late for the event. And Mrs. said, let's discuss about our own economy first. Otherwise, I will not entertain any discourse on food when you return. That's from the Mr. and Mrs. corner of Vanguard this morning. Let's get on to Nigerian Tribune. And from Nigerian Tribune, Tribune, the big headline, presidency, Udume, row over lopsided appointments claim. It's on page 3. It has 2 riders. Tinubu's appointment not reflecting federal character, says Udume. Your outburst reeks of hypocrisy, selective perception, says presidency. Rivers, court stops IBAS from appointing administrators in local government areas, on page 30. Shetima inaugurate NRSO board, signals new era in power sector reform. It's a significant milestone in ongoing power sector reform. That is coming from Bilei. It's on page 11 of Nigerian Tribune. Ondo farmers, youth protest over alleged killing of farmers by suspected herdsmen, on page 3. This is really sad. Reps worry over food scarcity, rising prices, begin probe of intervention funds to MDAs from 2017 to 2024, on page 11. We begin serialization of Ayo Adebanjo's book, telling it as it is, on page 17. Bandits have taken over 64 communities in Plateau. That is coming from Muftwang on page 27. Borno losing ground to Boko Haram. That is coming from Babangida Zulum, on page 20. And a few pictures on the front page of Nigerian Tribune. Just like I said earlier, we'll take a look at online platform of Platform Times this morning. And from Platform Times this morning, Fubara's Chief of Staff sues ex-Rivers HOS Channels TV for 2 billion naira over arson allegation. Nigeria loses $366 million as 16,000 doctors relocate abroad, says Minister. NCC gives MTN Glow Airtel about 90 days to audit unclaimed airtime. Angry Ondo residents storm governor's office with corpses after herdsmen kill 4 farmers. Suspected bandits kill header, abduct student in Kebbi. EFCC tenders evidence against Yahya Bello's nephew in 3 billion naira money laundering trial. Still with Platform Times, online news platform this morning. NSA to Nigerians, stop paying ransoms to bandits, kidnappers. Zulum raises alarm over renewed Boko Haram attacks, says Borno losing ground. Oni Alafi must manage superiority crisis. That is from Ogun Monarch. Ogun Attorney General Ogungbade sued for 1 billion naira over alleged defamation. Federal government declares bridge emergency, plans nationwide robotic inspections, says Umahi. And those are the headlines from online platform of Platform Times this morning. That's so easy. Okay, so now let's get on to analysis of the headlines this morning. Just like I said earlier, and you've heard his voice, Abayomi Babala is on the line with me. Don't forget that you can pick your headline and talk to us this morning on Facebook at Splash FM 106.7 Abeokuta. There is a live video feed there. Drop your comment on the live video feed. And you can also reach out to me on WhatsApp 0817 555 1067. And that's the WhatsApp platform. On X at Splash FM 1067. Abayomi Babalala, are you back now?
Yes, I'm with you.
All right, so Abayomi Babalala, I want us to start with this particular headline. Let me take it from Platform Times this morning. It's on Vanguard. It's on Nigerian Tribune as well. But from Platform Times, the headline, NSA to Nigerians, stop paying ransoms to bandits, kidnappers. Let me read a few paragraphs. The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Rebadu, has issued a stern appeal to Nigerians, urging them to desist from paying ransom to kidnappers and bandits, describing the practice as counterproductive and detrimental to the fight against insecurity in the country. Rebadu made the call on Tuesday in Abuja while handing over 60 rescued victims of kidnapping and banditry to their families. He said the successful successful operation, which involved the coordinated effort of the military and other security agencies, is a clear demonstration that Nigeria's security forces are capable of rescuing abductees without ransom payment. He said, and I quote, "Once again, we are here to do what we have done a couple of times already, to hand over rescued victims of kidnap and banditry to their families." The victims, end of quote. And I'm trying to, he said, many of these families gave money to the kidnappers, yet it did not guarantee the release of their loved ones. Please, I want you to, what's your thought on this this statement by Ribadu saying that family members should stop paying ransoms to bandits and kidnappers to rescue or to save their loved ones from the hands of kidnappers?
Well, Maryam, I don't want to say that the Office of the National Security Advisor is telling Nigerians lies. First, this is not the first time somebody in that office or around that area will be telling Nigerians not to pay ransom for their kidnapped victims. What have you done? What do we have on ground to give us the assurance that kidnapped victims will be rescued in time, alive? We have seen many instances where rescue missions end up as failures. We have seen many instances where rescue missions don't even take place at all. We have seen instances where people will have to pay before their families or their relatives could be released from kidnappers then. For me, some days ago, I wrote a piece to respond to one particular question. And then just yesterday or thereabouts, I saw another write-up from one Mr. Olude or so. When a whole general, an army general, was kidnapped, and his friends and family had to raise ransom before he could be released after over 50 days in kidnappers' den. If a whole general, a whole army general can go through that trauma, who else is safe in this country? And this is our NSA telling us that people should not pay the ransom. If this general had not had his people to pay that ransom, of course, there is every possibility that he would have been killed. So, enough of this talk, enough of these promises, enough of this bragging. Do the needful. Let Nigerians see that you are up to it. A particular guy was kidnapped some weeks back that they were saying is the youth leader of Afenifere in Ondo State. Yes. He stayed over a month in kidnappers' den, and the guy came back to tell Nigerians the things he saw while being held in hostage. What is our security apparatus doing about this? See, we have handled the issue of insecurity, especially kidnapping and banditry. We have handled it with kid gloves for too long, and they are getting bolder by the day. Is it until when a sitting senator or a sitting governor is kidnapped before we'll do the needful? Is it when they make attempts on the presidency or ministers before the needful will be done? You see videos of these kidnappers in their den, jubilating, counting money, doing a whole lot of things. And our security apparatus will tell you that it is easy for them to track phones of somebody that owes a neighbor some money, or somebody that duped another neighbor. This is a national disgrace. If we are paying ransom to rescue a whole general, we should not even pay ransom to rescue the list of individuals in this country, not to talk of a whole army general. So what the NSA is saying, for me, I don't want to say it's lying, that they have been rescuing a whole lot of these people that fall victim. I can say that 80 to 90% of them gets released after the payment of ransom. So if the security apparatus are not doing the needful, families and relatives cannot wait and let their persons be manhandled anyhow. These kidnappers go to the extent of sending videos of how they torture their victims. Now tell me, which family or relative or friend will continue to watch that video and say we are waiting for governments to come and rescue their persons? It's a very, very bad situation. Very, very bad.
While we're talking about security, Abayomi Babalola, let's link it up with this particular story from the Nigerian Tribune. It's on page 20, and there's another one on page 27. But I'm going to link the two stories because even though the situation is from two different states, but let's link it up because it concerns security as well. On page 20, Borno losing ground to Boko Haram, says Zulum, Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno State has expressed concern over the recent upsurge in Boko Haram attacks, which is said had led to the insurgents dislodging military formations and causing a reversal of gains in the counter-insurgency effort in the state. Addressing a crucial security meeting in Maiduguri on Tuesday, Zulum called on the federal government to increase its security attention to the northeast region. Now, I want to move from there to page 27 of Nigerian Tribune. From page 20 to page 27 of Nigerian Tribune, bandits have taken over 64 communities in Plateau, says Muftuang. Plateau State's Governor Caleb Muftuang has decried the attacks in some communities in his state, saying bandits have taken over 64 communities. The governor stated this on Tuesday during an interview on Channels Television's Politics Today. He said, and I quote, "These communities that have been recently attacked were part of the communities that were attacked in 2023, but they survived it and rebuilt themselves." End of quote. We've in recent times, we've had the presidency come out and say that they've been able to fight banditry and all of these situations, Boko Haram insurgency, to a certain level. They've been able to get rid of, them to a certain level, coming out to say that, the military, the Nigerian army, is doing the most at the moment. They are equipped and they can attack these people and get rid of them. That in no time we will not have them again in our society. But here is Caleb Muftuang of Plateau State coming out to say that 64 communities have been taken over by bandits, and also Babangala Zulu from Borno State coming out to say they are losing ground. That is, the whole state is losing ground to Boko Haram. Boko Haram that we felt has gone into extinction. What's your take on this current administration's security capacity?
It's obvious that Boko Haram has not gone into extinction because the sitting governor cannot be said not to know what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about. And for him to cry out now, it means that he must have drawn some things in the background, and his efforts are not yielding desired results. So he has every right to cry out and tell the whole world, not only the federal government, the whole world, that Boko Haram is getting stronger back in that state. And once they are able to get their foothold in a particular state, the next thing they do is to try and extend their authority to neighboring states, neighboring communities. And before you know it, we've had them controlling like almost 3 states in this country some years back. So it's as if we are getting back to that stage. That is in the northeast. In the northwest and north central, the bandits and the kidnappers are doing theirs. Don't forget, some days back, a sitting governor told Nigerians that they apprehended some men who have confessed that they killed some people, and these people were released because an order came from above, and these people were released. So if a sitting governor can be telling us that, it means that things have gone beyond what you and I are talking about at this level. I just plead that Mr. President will wake up on time. Because one of the things that gave President Jonathan the problem when he was the president was this issue of insecurity. And some people were seeing him as if he doesn't have the liver to face these bandits, to face the Boko Haram and tell them enough is enough. For goodness sake, some years back, Nigerians paid for some Super Tucano. The Super Tucano we paid for were not meant to fight armed robbery, were not meant to fight rapists. They were not meant to go after street urchins. But against these insurgents, especially the Boko Haram of 18, there are places in some states in north central and northwest.
I have to butt in. Let's go on a quick commercial break. When we get back, you will continue your line of thought on the current the headline that we touched on.
Okay.
All right, we'll go on a quick commercial break, and after that, we'll continue with the second segment from the pages. Don't forget that you can drop your comment on Facebook. We're live on Facebook. Just drop your comment right underneath the live video feed. You can also drop it on WhatsApp, 0817-555-1067. When the time comes, we'll open the phone lines so that you can be a part of the program this morning. So stick around. Panorama continues shortly.
Don't dare touch that dial. It's Splash, your integrity station.
Ìrì òwúrọ̀ Jerusalem Jordan. Bí Olúwa ṣe pa láṣẹ fún bàbá testimony wípé kí wọ́n máa lọ gbàdúrà fún onímọ̀júbò ènìyàn ní Jerusalem àti Jọ́dánì.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni o, látòrí òkè testimony prayer mountain kò tó wá sẹ́rù Abẹ́òkúta ní Nàìjíríà la ó ti máa gbàdúrà. Bá a ṣe ń gbéra ìrìn àjò mímọ́ lọ sí Jerusalem àti Jọ́dánì. Àṣẹ Olúwa ní lóòótọ́ o. Àwọn tó ti ń bá wòlíì Ọlọ́run Prophet Dr. Akande Adéọlá bàbá testimony ìrìn àjò ẹ̀mí mímọ́ yìí ń ló lè ròyìn. Bí wọ́n ṣe ń gbàdúrà gbàrí sí ayọ̀ kíákíá. Láwọn ibi tó ṣe kókó tó dárúkọ nínú Bíbélì. Láwọn ẹ̀rí kọ́ngbẹ́kọ́ngbẹ́ tó fojú hàn sí jáde gbangbangba gbogbo ìgbà. Gbọ́ irú ogun wo ló ń jà tí ó fẹ́? Àwọn ìlàkọjá wo ló ní tí ó fẹ́ lọ́kàn balẹ̀? Ó yá jájọ lọ gbàdúrà ní Jerusalem àti Jọ́dánì pẹ̀lú bàbá testimony kó wọ́n ṣẹ́. Hotel accommodation ibi tó rẹwà la máa dé sí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ la máa jẹ oúnjẹ mẹ́ta lójúmọ́. Ó ti yá báyìí ẹ̀ tètè máa bọ̀ wá gba fọ́ọ̀mù kẹ́ forúkọ sílẹ̀ 0902-845-5553 tàbí 081-7577-0000.
tó bá kọ́lé èèyàn tán òrùlé jẹ̀rá ní olówó lọ́gbọ́n wèsè tó bá kọ́lé tán intrubi ni ó yá.
gbogbo ẹ̀dá tó ń kọ́lé lọ́wọ́ tó ti dórí kíkàn dórí òrùlé ó yá ní iléeṣẹ́ Linktrubin. ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ kànlé fúnra yín ẹ̀ máa bọ̀ níléeṣẹ́ Linktrubin. ẹ mójú yín débẹ̀ ẹ wá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ pọ̀. ẹ má tẹ̀lé àwọn agbaṣẹ́ṣe tí wọ́n ń fẹ́ lù yín ní jìbìtì. àwa ò fààyè gbà màgòmágó àti jìbìtì ni wọ́n ṣe ń fẹ́ darí yín kúrò lọ́dọ̀ wa. ojúlówó jẹ̀ráàdì là wá ń ta o. kọ̀ńtínà ní là ń gbé wọlé látòkè òkun. ẹ má tẹ̀lé wọn lọ bí wọ́n ti máa bò yín mọ́lẹ̀. wọn lọ́gbọ́n tí wọ́n fi ń ṣẹ́jú síra wọn. Linktrubin ni ẹ máa bọ̀. àní shingle Milano classic àti bond. a ó sì bá yín fọkọ̀ wa kó débi ẹ bá ń lọ. Linktrubin wà lábíọ́láwé lábẹ́òkúta nítòsí NNPC. ó fẹ́ dojúkọ géètì àbáwọlé OOPL. ẹ pè wá ìjà àjọ sọ̀rọ̀ pọ̀ 0814-491-6204. Linktrubin say Gerard.
a ti fẹ́ ṣe o. ọjọ́ ti pé tá a máa ṣe. ó yá gbogbo ẹ̀yin olùgbé òkè mọ̀sán ládẹrin àti gbogbo agbègbè tó yíká. ẹ kú àmójúbàlẹ̀ oúnjẹ tuntun tí Mádùjútìmí Olúwa Foods gbé kalẹ̀ lọ́nà àrà sókè mọ̀sán. ọ̀pọ̀ ti sún fáínálì torí onírúurú oúnjẹ tilẹ̀ yìí àti tòkè òkun. nílé oúnjẹ Mádùjútìmí Olúwa máa fi tẹ̀yìn lọ́rùn dọ́ba. ìyẹn lókè mọ̀sán. ẹ̀yin náà jẹ́ àjọ ká. ó kọjọ́ mélòó báyìí tá a máa ṣe. ṣe fẹ́ gbọ́ ọjọ́ Friday April 18 gangan bẹ̀rẹ̀ láago 2 ọ̀sán. láyẹyẹ ṣíṣí ilé oúnjẹ tuntun míì tí Mádùjútìmí Olúwa ṣí sí MKO Trade Fair Complex beside Immigration Office Òkè Mọ́sán Abẹ́òkúta. ìlàjì péré nínú owó oúnjẹ tẹ́ ẹ bá rà lọ́jọ́ yẹn lẹ́ máa sanwó ẹ̀. ọ̀kan òjọ̀kan ní ìgbádùn tó wà nílẹ̀ fún gbogbo àwọn oníbàárà tán bá tètè dé. ọjọ́ yẹn máa dùn gan ni. ọmọ tán sọ ìràwọ̀ ńlá #1 Aláyọ̀ Melody singer tó máa lùlù àlùjọ.
àtọ̀dá ló kọrin ọba Aláyọ̀ singer o. àtọ̀dá ló kọrin ọba the global legend. máa bá ṣẹrẹ lọ.
Mádùjútìmí Olúwa First, dishing out the best considering your budget.
We are ultimate landmark schools for a top-notch learning experience. We have qualified professionals, state-of-the-art facilities to make learning beautiful. We are ultimate, we are ultimate, we are ultimate landmark school.
Ultimate Landmark Schools. Ètò ìgbaniwọlé ń lọ lọ́wọ́ sí kindergarten, nursery, primary, college àti ẹ̀kọ́ ìmọ̀ iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ vocational skills acquisition. Ní yàrá ìkàwé tó dára, computer room, science laboratory, music department tó gbàgbàmù, library tó dúró déédéé, ibi ìṣeré ìdárayá, ọkọ̀ ilé ìwé wà, boarding facilities náà gbẹ̀yìn. Àwọn ọmọ wa sì ń ṣe dáadáa nínú ìdánwò UTME ní WAEC NECO government approved. Ìdánwò common entrance máa wáyé ní May 24, June 28 àti July 19, 2025. Ultimate Landmark Schools wà ní Láfẹ̀nwá Abẹ́òkúta Ògùn State àti ní Blessed River Basin Estate, Àdéhùn Abẹ́òkúta Ògùn State. Telephone 0803-536-8194 tàbí 0813-642-7488. Ultimate Landmark School. In God we trust.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
I like talk radio.
Welcome to your number one talk radio station.
Fasten your seatbelts.
This is your favorite station.
Splash FM 106.7.
Panorama.
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 Panorama. Panorama.
Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
Welcome back to Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM. We are in the second segment. From the pages is what we tag the second segment, where we go through the front page of Nigerian dailies, give you the headlines, and also do analysis on that particular one. And before we went on that break, we were talking about Abayomi Babalala is on the line. And before we went on that break, we were talking about the headline from page 27 and page 20 of Nigerian Tribune. On page 20, Borno losing ground to Boko Haram, says Baba Ghana Zulum. And on page 27, bandits have taken over 64 communities in Plateau. That is according to Plateau State Governor Muftuang. So, Abayomi Babalala, you were saying something before we went on that break. Please continue.
So I was saying that there are some states in North Central and North East today that some communities are no-go area for people who want peace, for people who cannot obey the rules and regulations of the bandits, because the bandits have established kingdoms and authorities in those areas, and the government is aware. But what makes the government, the respective state governments, to be incapacitated, not to be able to wrestle away the authority from those bandits, I wouldn't know. Take, for instance, in Zamfara. What we believed was the beginning of all this for that particular state was the presence of mineral resources that some people were mining. Today, the problem in that state has gone beyond the mining problem, because people that were used for mining in years past, people that had weapons to guide the illegal miners, they have now graduated to become kidnappers, and they are the ones we call the bandits today. Go to Katsina State, you have similar problem. Go to Plateau State, you have similar problem. For how long are we going to continue to have this? And we have a federal government. These are situations I expect will warrant states of emergency being declared in those states, and let there be peace. Let the army, let the navy, for goodness sake, what do we have the Air Force for? You see bandits making use of drones to protect themselves, using drones to launch attacks, using drones to make strategies of what to do. And you wonder what our federal government could be doing with the huge amounts we release every now and then as security budget. So it is beyond what we can even phantom what we can talk about here. Let there be action. Mr. President should look into this. If it takes declaring state of emergency in this state, because these have been compromised already. The livelihood of the people have been compromised. The security of the people in those states have been compromised. Unfortunately, these people are recruiting every day. Some days back, there was a report that like 50 people were kidnapped. Now, out of the 50 people that were kidnapped, there's every tendency that these bandits will train some of the male victims and turn them to bandits eventually. So they are swelling up in numbers, and it will get to a stage they will start extending to other states, other areas around them. We have to nip it. It's even beyond the bud now. We normally say that let us nip it in the bud. That is when we feel that the bud is still small. What we have now has gone beyond the bud. We have to nip it wherever it is now. It has become a huge monster for this country. And nobody is safe today. Nobody is safe. Like I said, if a whole army general can be kidnapped right from his own village, nobody is safe.
Okay, I love the fact that you touched on the three zones in the northern region. You talked about the northwest, the northeast, and north central. But let's come to southwest. I'm sure in the news you would have read quite a few of those headlines and the news reports concerning what is happening in Ondo State. And just yesterday, another news came out of Ondo State, which made its way to the Nigerian dailies today. I'm on page 3 of Nigerian Tribune. The headline said, again, Ondo farmers, youth protest over alleged killing of farmers by herdsmen. Hundreds of protesters consisting farmers and youth from Ajagbusi community in Igbatoro area of Akure North local government area of Ondo State on Tuesday stormed the state secretariat road in Alagbaka protesting the killing of another 3 farmers in a fresh attack by gunmen suspected to be herdsmen. The protesters who displayed the remains of the 3 farmers shot dead by the armed men while going to their farms on Tuesday morning blocked the main road leading to the governor's office in Akure. Now, in time past, we did talk about the fact that the Amotekun Corps in Ondo State was quite active, like very active, than we have in other southwestern states like Oyo, Ogun. I remember there was a particular time that there was, I think it was a misfire from one of the Amotekun Corps in Oyo that led to the killing of a particular student in Oyo State. So people don't really rate the Amotekun Corps in Oyo, Osun, Ogun, and the other part of the southwestern part. But the ones in Ondo, the Amotekun Corps in Ondo is well revered, well respected because of the adequate system they have in place and the security they've been able to put in place when it comes to protecting the people, especially the farmers. But now, what we are having in the state now is, I don't know, can we say that the core, the Amotekun Corps is no longer what it used to be during what we had during the late governor's administration?
Well, first, when the heat is getting too much on these bandits in a particular area they are, there is every possibility they migrate to somewhere they feel the heat is not much. It was noticed that these bandits, these kidnappers were moving into Ondo State when the late Governor Akinbode was alive, and he sponsored the state Amotekun, and that is why we are talking about Amotekun of Ondo State today, because they were very, very effective, very efficient back then. But you see, when you have been able to tackle these bandits, these bad people, they will go and regroup elsewhere. and their first target will most likely be that place where they were dealt with. Amotekun dealt with these people in Ondo State. They ran away, they went to regroup, and they are now coming back to that place where they were dealt with initially. Meanwhile, those that dealt with them have gone to sleep. Not necessarily that the Amotekun officials have gone to sleep. The government of the day has not given the kind of attention Amotekun in Ondo State had back then. They are not getting that kind of attention. Areas of funding, areas of logistics, areas of personnel. In Osun State, so, last month or thereabout, the recruitment for Amotekun Corps in Osun State was politicized. We are talking about security here, not something that you give to your brother, you give to your party men because they are your party men, because they are your brothers. We need competent hands that will be funded and given the required equipment to work with. We are toying with insecurity in Southwest, and it is because we felt that the problem of insecurity in Nigeria has to do with the North alone. Don't forget, there was a time we were thinking that the insecurity in South-South is limited to the South-South alone. Today, South-South is relatively peaceful. It is the turn of the North, especially North Central and Northeast today. I fear it will not be the turn of Southwest very soon, the way we are handling things. Amotekun is there. Ask our respective governors the huge amounts allocated to them every month that they get every month as security votes. What do they do with these security votes? If Amotekun cannot be adequately funded. Some days ago, our governor here in Ogun State mobilized some troops to the interchange axis, where people have been reporting that some hoodlums are doing all sorts of nonsense. Good. These are things we should talk about. But then, our administrators in most cases have been reactive. They have not been proactive like the way these bandits are. They plan ahead, they strategize ahead, and by the time they strike, they get us unaware. It should be the other way around. The government and the security personnel should be proactive and be a step or several steps ahead of these bandits, ahead of these bad people. But we are not doing that. An Amotekun official or a security official that did not get his salary as at when due, or you even pay him a ridiculous amount as salary. When such a person gets something somewhere, there's every possibility they will compromise. When you call him to come and defend the state or come and defend the community with an empty stomach, looking at his children that are hungry, looking at his wife cannot go to the market and get something for him, he will be discouraged. And people like that easily get compromised, and that is why many of these atrocities they get successful, because people who are supposed to be our watchmen have been compromised. We caused it from the top. So we cannot continue to sit back and feel that, oh, it is their problem. It is the problem with the people in the farm. It is the problem with the people in remote areas. It is getting closer to home. It is getting closer to cities. It is getting closer to where these seats of powers are located. We can't afford to wait until this thing gets out of hand.
Okay, so it's time for you to be a part of the program this morning. I know that there are so many headlines to touch on today, especially the row between Ndume and presidency over the lopsided appointment. But then, just like I said earlier, pick your headline and talk to us on WhatsApp 0817-555-1067. The phone lines are open 0705-050-1067, 0817-555-1067 or 0817-444-1067. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Maryam. This is my name.
Welcome, Mayo. Go ahead with your contribution.
I want to thank about me, but I will give you very interesting stuff. But if you want us to say it as it is, President Tinubu is not getting this thing right. we were not expecting that he will follow the same approach used by Buhari. And I will tell you what I mean. The North was in charge of this Boko Haram thing. Talk about the security, top echelon, the military, the national security advisor. So when Tinubu came in, the expectation was that he will reduce. His first mistake is that he made two Minister of Defense and his Minister of State, National Security Advisor, all of them. You see, the way this Boko Haram thing in the North is different from the way it is perceived here. In fact, it is looking as if we are whipping more than the bereaved. And this office making the task force is a business. So the earlier we now know that
wrap up now,
the war against is a business. They bought Super Tucanos. Before the Super Tucanos came, they were saying that was the reason why. And since it came, nothing. We're talking about Ogun State. We can be talking about Ondo, talking about but Ogun State. Look at that place very close to what is his name? Alade Somi Junction. That farmers.
The farmers market. Wrap up now, Ayo.
The number and those who are using it. A lot of these people from the north will just come here. They are going nowhere. They have nowhere to sleep. Go and look at that place. About 5 reside inside that farmer's business.
Okay. All right, Ayo, I've got to let you go. Thank you so much for your contribution. Really appreciate it. Sincere apologies. I've got to let you go. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Ola. I'm calling from Ogun State.
Ola, you have to turn down the volume on your radio set, please.
Yeah. I'm far away from it right now.
All right, go on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And about the headline, I have let me say, I have another way I'm looking at all these things going on in Nigeria right now, because I'm looking at a news broke out some few weeks ago about the world market rate for crude oil right now coming down to 65 naira, and nothing has been changed about our petrol. I don't know what is going on. And you see something, say something of a thing. We've been doing that in our own community. I stay around our Nigeria side. We've been doing that, and nobody has come into our rescue. On our road every single day, we see people, all these Edaman, take their cows and everything all over the roads. Sometimes we need to pause for them to pass. It's like they are the one owning the community right now. And if you are going if you know this Ojiri road very well, you see at least nothing less than 4 checking points every single day. If you are moving around at 10, 11 in the morning, you see nothing less than 4 checking points. And these people, are they passing the bush side? No, they are passing the road side, and these policemen are seeing them, and they are doing nothing. We don't know who to call on right now. I don't even know what to do, because what I can say right now, okay, we are being safe in our area because we are not having this clash of kidnapping and everything. But when that happens, who are we going to call on? Because we are still seeing them move around. In broad daylight, someone walking without cow or anything, we'll see sword on that side. Why? Why are you moving around with sword? Normal broad daylight, we are not moving cows. Talkers of we say, okay, you are moving around the bush. Okay, that's the main reason they have. Like, okay, we are using this cutlass to cut the grasses while we're moving in the bushes, or while we're moving in the bush. I don't know why they are doing it. And we keep on complaining, we keep on calling. Can you imagine? Adigbe police station is the nearest police station to our side. Before Adigbe police station could get to my area, a lot will have been done by these people. We don't know what to call on right now. We've been calling them, we've been writing letters, they just tell us, okay, we'll do something. They are not doing anything. Who are we to call on? This country is so it's just, I don't don't even know the word.
All right, thank you, Ola, for your contribution. Really appreciate you. I'm sure that the authority is hearing, and I keep asking myself, the anti-grazing law that we said we are implementing in Ogun State, what is happening with that particular one? Why do we still have these people moving around with their cows in Ogun State? Hello, good morning. Stay on the line, please. Let me try and restart Blaze connection with you and see if it will work. Maybe you have to. Okay, hold on. I think it's okay now. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Go on. What's your name?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Maryam. It's a very sad, state, that we find ourselves as a nation. If you look at what your guest said, it's so sad, Even a general is being kidnapped, and all his friends and military officers, donate and contribute money to rescue him. So who else? Maybe one day a governor or the president or the vice president will not be kidnapped. Like them to start contributing. It's just when you see people who are even tripping, apart from those who are see most of these guys, you see them just coming with trailers and they will dump them in the west here, and you see them moving, into the forest and the bush. What are leaders? What are they doing? Even in Ogun State, are we saying these people from the other part of the country or outside the country are, even more stronger and bigger than us? Or bigger than the government that we have, that we cannot even curtail their excesses, that we cannot even curtail their crime rate, and that is why we see that we are so helpless. Have leaders? Do we have leaders? To just be there and be dining and be whining and be enjoying.
All right.
Without knowing that.
Thank you, Gio Shikwadi, for your contribution.
Honestly, it's so sad. Where we find ourselves, we don't have leaders who have the mind to go and to go to government and do the needful and do the right thing. Rather than going there, all they are just after is for them to go there and be enjoying.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Gio Shikwade. Have a nice day yourself. Okay, so let's get to your messages on WhatsApp before Abayomi Babalola wrap up the conversation. Sorry. This one from Danford Boy said, good morning all. If Nigerian leaders don't know how to handle the challenges of Nigeria, they should please go and visit Burkina Faso to study how Captain Ibrahim Traore is doing it there for the Burkinabe. Newspaper review said, appointment claim. It is amazing that we are still agitating the appointment in Nigeria. We are still agitating that appointment in Nigeria is still lopsided. At the moment, we are in economically, if all that will make Nigeria work, if all that will make Nigeria work from one local government of the 774 local government, so be it. Unless we are not truthful to ourselves, merit-based appointments should be embraced. On insecurity in the north, which have now spread to the whole country, the northern governors, traditional rulers, religious leaders, young and old, should sit down and declare enough is enough, and they should accept that they are responsible for the insecurity in this country. The southerners should wake up and give security to themselves. Thank you. That's from Danford Adobo. To this one from Ade. Ade said, for me, I don't see any solution inside to the issue of kidnapping. Ransom paying is ransom paid, illegal mining. I'm trying my best to understand it. I have for long lost interest in this administration as the one that can solve Nigeria's security challenge. If after Senator Oshiomhole can accuse Nigeria Army on TV during oversight briefing that they are involved in illegal mining in Zamfara, and there is a president in a country hearing this and not realizing the fact that the security architecture of the nation is completely compromised, and accept some security chief to have been imprisoned by now. expect, that some security chiefs should be in prison by now for committing treason against the nation. But what are we seeing? A celebration. Okay, so I think I'll pass on that. Thank you. This one is from Tunji from Manda. I said, good morning. It's becoming too much in Ondo State. When does Ondo State become a den of kidnapping? The governor should be up and doing, because the late governor of Ondo State tried his best possible to secure the state during his life. That's from Tunji from Randa. Thank you. And this one is from Savio Akinlolu. Savio Akinlolu said, good morning, Maryam. My hearty greetings to Mr. Abayomi Babalola. I don't think the Office of the National Security Advisor to the presidency are serious with the statement credited to the office that Nigerians should stop paying ransom to rescue their loved ones or families in the den or captivity of kidnappers. If I may ask, how many victims of kidnappers have they successfully rescued without the families of the kidnapped victims paying ransom to rescue their families? The case is just that most of the families of the National Security Advisor office or some highly profile personnel are not being kidnapped, because I believe if any of their families are kidnapped, they will know the meaning of paying ransom to save the life of one's loved ones. I hope we get it right in the security aspect soon. That's from Savio Akinlolu. And this one from Surakat Abdulhamid Abiodun said, any security breaches that lasted beyond necessary, government is involved. You remember Kawu Baraje from Kwara State and what he said about Boko Haram and the 2015 general elections. We are only deceiving ourselves if we refuse to face reality. Some people, out of quest for powers, brought in foreigners that they cannot control any longer. It is well. And this one from Nicholas, a very long one, but I'll try my best. Nicholas, I'll try my best. He said, there is nothing on the Merced in the Arise interview that is not verifiable, but I can't speak for Nigerians who may suffer from undetected hemispatial neglect. Nicholas said the primary aim of all government is security of lives and property. From Agatu to Zamfara to Eha Amufo, we are surrounded by killer headsmen and hyenas, in General Shiga's words. And one annoying thing is how we keep adding suspected to Fulani, but we are sure of who is an Igbo IPOB extremist, Ijo pipeline destroyer, or Yoruba Scott miner, or Uro Milincha. It is, in my view, lopsided reporting, selection, editing, and academic dishonesty. He went on, he says, insecurity even in countries surrounding Nigeria is a threat to stability in Nigeria. Who is an island? It is humans that err in action and thought. God did not make a mistake in putting 400 tribes in this expanse of 9,237,000 square kilometers. As a matter of fact, Nicholas, I don't think I can finish all of this. Irrespective of tribe, tongue, religion, and political leanings, we all need to pray for the just, because I'm not sure what Wale Edu means by non-oil revenue. Nicholas, I've tried. I think I read 4 out of 5. So thank you. I'm going to stop there. Abayomi Babalola, your party shot in 30 seconds.
Miriam, that's unfair. 30 seconds for me to respond to all this. But then, I think Gio Shikwade and Ayo Arojolua will quickly say this. They spoke about these people that migrate from up north, down south. Every time you see them being offloaded by trailers as if they are offloading goods. With that, movement as enshrined in our constitution. The governor of Ogun State cannot say people coming from Kano should not come to his state. So that has to be noted. But let's sit down and see How do we make this place uncomfortable for people we don't want in our state? That is what we should be talking about. We cannot deport them back to any state. They are here, they are in Nigeria, and the Constitution guarantees their movement from any part of the country to anywhere they feel like going to.
All right.
So other things, we'll be talking about those ones some other days.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Abayomi Babalola, for your time.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
All right, good morning to you too, Man U fan. All right, so till we meet again tomorrow, I'll be back on Friday on Panorama, but Lola Medutani will be here tomorrow, God willing, between 8:30 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. Sincere apologies to all of you that dropped messages on all social media platforms that I couldn't get to. Akorede Camille, I sincerely apologize. And to everyone that participated on the program today, thank you so much. My name is Maryam